Hey everyone, welcome to Comics with Bueller. As always, I'm Bueller. Today is episode 124 of the brand new Coffee and Comic Show. And as you can see, I am not alone. I got my good friend Bob here with me. Bob, how you doing today, buddy?
Doing fine, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I got my second COVID shot. I'm all good to go. No side effects. I didn't even feel a damn thing.
That's awesome.
Not sick, nothing at all. I was like, oh man, it's good to be done, right?
One of the lucky ones, my friend.
One of the lucky ones. There you go. Did not get the virus. I'm one of the lucky ones.
Right.
But yeah, I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm excited to be back. We took a week off.
We did.
And now we're back here, and we're going to be doing some really cool new stuff that you guys haven't seen before, including our mystery box reviews.
This is going to be awesome.
That'll be a lot of fun.
But
as always, we start off with the coffee we're drinking. And the coffee is brought to you today by none other than Mocha Express, the official coffee shop of Comics with Bueller. And today I'm drinking a Snickers Mocha. And this was nice, cold goodness. It's got a mixture of like chocolate and caramel, and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It doesn't really matter. It tastes awesome, right?
Yeah.
I got a nice little pink streak. You forgot my straw?
I did not.
You liar.
I didn't. Stacia herself picked that for you.
What are you having?
I'm having an iced Bueller, which is pretty much a peanut butter mocha.
There you go.
It's good. I haven't had it iced before, and so...
An iced Bueller.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, if you go to Mocha Express over in town, just walk up to the give me a Bueller, and that's what you'll get. You get a peanut butter mocha.
I like the hot Bueller better.
Do you?
Sure.
I'm not going to say that, bro.
Come on, man. What do you prefer? Nice warm Bueller or some cold
The
Bueller?
frap.
Either way you can get it, you like it. A lot of tips.
A lot of tips.
Anyway, let's do a quick rundown of what we got going on in our show, because it's going to be a busy show today. We're going to start off with some quick announcements and some thank yous to the audience. We'll go with our first five, now brought to you by Bird City Comics. That's switched up. I'll tell you guys why in another episode, probably. We'll go to our topic, which is by Black Box Comics, and our topic today is, why are these comics not more valuable? How come these comics are undervalued? We have a bunch of responses from the audience. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. And a lot of comics I looked up, and they're absolutely right. I have no idea why they aren't worth more, and they really should be.
Yeah.
We'll follow that off by our final five, brought to you by now Bird City Comics. We'll do our Pick the Pick and Pick of the Week from Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers. That's a new fun segment. The Pick the Pick will be back. Got a new graphic for that one as well. Then we'll do our comic book mystery box honest reviews, and that's brought to you by Scout Comics, so thank you for those guys. We'll follow that up with Was It Good? And that's by Comics on Coffee, our newest sponsor. So you can get the coffee from them. You can order the bags of coffee, get 15% off. You enter the code Bueller. So thank you for that. And we'll finish off with Random Thoughts. And our Random Thoughts are now brought to you by our Patreon members. So thank you to our Patreon members. And those are the newest sponsor for our Random Thoughts. We didn't have a sponsor for that one.
No, we didn't.
But we did all the time.
That's awesome.
It was awesome.
Come on.
Yeah, okay. So let's quickly just go into some of the announcements real fast. First things first, I want to say thank you to some super chats from the week before. We had a super chat from Thomas Jackman yet again. Twitch13MP, thank you very much. And of course, the Rogue Trader super chats, thank you so much. And really, it does help us out a lot. There's some new expenses for the show that we're paying for right now. Shipping and stuff like that for the mystery box segments costing us some money. So any of the super chats that are thrown our way, that's going back into the show to take care of this. We're actually upgrading microphones. We'll talk about that in a little bit, and some other things as well. So any super chats that are heading our way, thank you. It's helping us right now.
Very much so. Thank you.
Also, we have some new Patreons as well. I want to say thank you to Jeffrey Beach and Derek Ott, OTT, our newest Patreon members. Thank you so much. If you want to join our Patreon, it's the price of one comic a month, $3.99 or $4. So if you think Bob and myself are worth at least one comic book a month, and you want to help support us in the show and make everything go, join our Patreon.
Absolutely.
There you go. So we're doing pretty good.
I think so.
So there you go. Okay, so a few announcements, which are pretty cool. We talked about this before. Washington State Summer Con.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
Coming up this month. We're less than like 2 weeks away. It's in Puyallup, Washington, the 18th through the 20th. Let me just tell you some guests that are there. Chris Claremont, right out of the XMen, love him. Donnie Cates, that guy. I know that guy.
I know that guy.
Jim Starlin, another awesome creator. Thanos, that guy. That's pretty cool. And a bunch of other creators as well. They also have some celebrities there. Katie Sackhoff, people like her a lot. And then they have that Mike Coulter guy. He played Luke Cage in the Netflix show. And there's a bunch of them. I'm not going to name them all. You guys can go to their website, Washington State SummerCon and whatnot. Look it up. Find out all about it. Here's the thing. Bob and I are going to be there.
We are.
We're going to have like a little booth. We're going to be filming stuff. We got new microphones coming. There's wireless stuff. We're going to interview all these creators. We're going to do a whole bunch of things. We got banners. We got, I don't know, you name it, dude.
We're going to be there.
It's a big deal. With the hotel rooms already booked and everything, we're good to go.
Ready to go.
If you're in the area, or even if you're away out of the area, take a trip. Now's a good time to take a trip, right?
That's right. And I'll just say, it is my favorite con, hands down.
Yes.
And if you haven't had the chance to go, it is a smaller con. It's more intimate.
Yeah.
And the last one that we went to,
awesome.
It's so much fun. So if you're thinking about going to a con, you're on the fence, you're going to go somewhere else, maybe out of state for it, choose this one. I guarantee you'll love it.
And take a look at the guest list. Like I said, there's a bunch more guests that I didn't name. Like I said, we'll be doing a whole bunch of stuff. We'll be doing panels there as well. I mean, just a ton of stuff. We volunteer our services for this con, and they're really good to us. So I'm really looking forward to hanging out in Puyallup for the weekend. It's a 3-day con now. It was only 2 days last time.
Right.
And now it's 3 days because they're making up for the year that didn't go on. So I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Hope to see you guys there.
Another kind of announcement. I can't really say much, but I'm just going to say this, okay? My first major publisher variant exclusive is on its way.
Can't wait for this
And
one.
that's really all I can say. But
I know.
major publisher, you can pick, it's by Marvel.
I love it.
Or DC, probably not. Anyway, it's coming, and I'll have more information for you guys as we get closer within, I don't know, a week or so, and you guys will know all about it. So I'm very excited to kind of not spoil it for you right now. I can't really say much, but a major publisher, probably Marvel, maybe DC, probably not. But you know what? It's going to be pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very cool. You already saw it.
I did. I'm excited about it.
There you go. All right, so that's kind of our announcements for the week. Let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
And we're going to go ahead and start off with our first 5, brought to you by Bird City Comics. You can go to birdcitycomics.com, enter the code Bueller, and you save 10% on all your purchase there.
Yeah.
So, Bob, guess what?
What?
You're up first.
Sounds good to me. And you know me, I love to bring some Daredevil. And I brought some from an era that I don't think gets very much love. And so we have here number 109. Let's get the little piece there. And
Nice.
then we have 110. Yeah, look at that. Good stuff.
Oh,
And we got 113, one of my favorite covers of all time.
there you go.
You know me, I love Gladiator. It's one of my favorite villains. And then we got 116. Got some owl action going on there. And then we have 118, and that is my first 5.
Not bad, my friend.
Thank you.
I like it. Here's the deal. I don't have a first 5 this week because I actually have some books I'm going to show as we go through the topic, because a lot of the references are to books that are undervalued. I have some of those books in my collection, and I want to show those as we go along. But I will be back for the final 5 because I got 5 books that I think in my collection that are undervalued as well, and I want to share those. But anyway, there you go. That's our first 5 brought to you by Bird City Comics. Like I said before, you go to their website, and enter the code Bueller, you save 10%, and you get all a bunch of books.
Awesome stuff.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
All right, let's switch gears and go to our next topic. And our topic is going to be brought to you by Black Box Comics. You can go to their website, enter the code Bueller10, it has a 10 after it, but that stands for the 10% that you get off when you go to their website. You get whatever you want, books, trades, you name it. Buy whatever you want under that code. You save money. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Saving money, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so our topic this week is about books that are undervalued, underappreciated. Right now, there's a spike in almost every book, but there are a few exceptions, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, Bob, you were up first with the first comment.
Sure thing.
Let's hear it.
All right, so this one comes from Avante Plays. They said, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl that says, they said, I think Silk's second appearance is really low. The first appearance is going for lots of money, but the second appearance is roughly $10.
So, I wanted to put that in there because I don't know much about the Silk character myself. It came out during a time I wasn't really interested. But I think second appearances are the next thing to kind of hit the market.
Absolutely.
I think first appearances are really starting to price themselves out of the Raider collector. I mean, just, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars for a first appearance. What's more affordable is the second appearance of a character.
That's right.
It's still you know, and a lot of times the second appearance of the character is more meaty than the first appearance.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's be honest. Like, first appearance can be in a few panels, and I think, you know, as long as the character, as long as you see the character in the book and they say a word or some dialogue, and you see the full character, you can identify them. I believe that's a first appearance. Okay, I believe a second appearance is that plus more stuff or whatnot.
Right, absolutely.
So I think the second appearance of characters is the next thing that's going to kind of catch on because it's going to be more affordable.
Yeah.
And like you said, Silk. I don't know how much that book goes for right now. The first appearance, I'm pretty sure it's a lot, but a second appearance, only $10. Why wouldn't you want to get that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at your normal blue chip books, right? You know, your first appearance of the major characters. You're right; those have priced themselves out, and you see investors going for those next tier books, and they're starting to grab them up pretty quick. So your second appearance of Kingpin, your second appearance of Vision,
Yes.
you know, your second appearance of Hundreds. Those books are starting to become, starting to rise in value. Maybe not Silk right now, but this is another book again, very underappreciated. But those second appearances are going to become blue chip, just like you know the rest of your normal first appearances. And I think it's a great investment right now.
Yeah, and you know, depending on what you want to call it, let's just say the Hulk 182. Okay, Wolverine's in there. Okay, and if you want to call that a second, do they consider a giant size the second appearance? I don't want to get in that argument or whatnot, but I'm just saying. Okay, Wolverine is in the 182. Okay, 180. He's in 182 as well.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, 181 is considered the first. No, I don't want to get into it. He's in 180, 181, and 182. Whatever you want to do. So 182 has always been kind of a stepchild of the 180, 181.
Right.
But 182 is still a really great book.
Absolutely.
Even though, I mean, and there's actually a couple characters in there that make a first appearance and a final appearance as well, if I'm not mistaken. But that's still a somewhat affordable book. It is starting to go up a little bit. But you can get a lot of second appearances for a good deal from like major characters, you know.
Absolutely.
Even minor characters that are like $20 first appearance, second appearance is like $1.
Right.
You know, so I don't know. I think it's an untapped market right now, and I think if you want to get into something where you can't afford those second or the first appearances, go for the second.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a solid investment.
I would say so.
All right, you got the next one as well.
All right, next one comes from Nick Pierce. He says, I would say Alpha Flight #1. Maybe I'm biased because I'm Canadian. As always, keep up the great work.
I thought I had a copy of this book. I have it one time, or multiple times to be honest. I don't have it right now. This book is extremely undervalued. And let me just tell you this. There was multiple people that said Alpha Flight #1. Right. Multiple people. Like there was like 10 or 12 people that said Alpha Flight #1.
Sure.
And why is first appearance of Puck, first appearance of Marina, Tundra, and more. There's like 3 or 4 other first appearances in this book. Puck probably being the littlest one, but the biggest one. Give the guy some credit, you know. He's a little guy, but he's a big guy.
A little big appearance.
Yeah, a little big appearance. We'll take it, right?
For sure.
But this book right now only sells for $10.
Yeah, this is one that I've always been just kind of blown away over. Alpha Flight is a great team, and for when it came out to now, for it to still be valued at $10 with all the books around it that were X books, Wolverine books, and things that referenced Alpha Flight, pretty heavily. I'm still surprised that this is where it's at because it's a great book. Yeah, it was a great series.
So just for fun, and I have a bunch of these old comic book collector magazines, which are the price guides, and these are from the early '90s. And I was just curious to look up some of these books that we're going to be talking about and see what they were going for. This book, the Alpha Flight book, back in the early '90s, was selling for $8.
Was it really?
Yeah, $8. So it's been what, 33 years, and it's only gone up $2.
That's crazy.
That's not good. It's definitely worth more than $10
for sure.
But like I said, I had it. I actually found that book in the dollar bin like last year.
That's crazy.
And stuff. I don't know, man. I agree with that book. I love that book. I like that team. I think who was it? Chris Claremont.
Chris Claremont
wrote that and stuff like, and John Byrne or something. I don't
remember who was on the art, but yeah.
But yeah, it's a great book. So yeah, it's definitely undervalued. All right, you got the next one as well.
All right, so the next one comes from Tommy Nicodemus. He says, right now and for almost 50 years, The Shadow #1, DC from 1973 by Denny O'Neil and William Kaluta, has been underappreciated. Pulp hero from the 1930s with movie serials, radio show, and a 1994 movie. Story and especially the art is still better than 90% of what's being published today. The whole 12-issue run was exceptional, and Dark Horse published more of the Shadow comics before and after the movie. And the Shadow is one of those books that is, I mean, it's been there for years. If you follow Kevin Smith will tell you the Shadow is one of those untapped resources that should have been tapped a long time ago, and very underappreciated.
Do me a favor, grab those books.
Sure.
I have the Shadow #1 right here.
Oh, sweet.
And I'm going to put that up there. It's one of my personal copies. And I love this. I think I might have the whole run, the whole 12 issues.
Really?
It's really one of the only DC titles I have the whole run for. Just so you guys know, there was more to that comment, a little more reference to the Shadow itself. So if you guys want to go read the rest of that comment, it's on the preview video from last week. But he's absolutely right. This book right now, and this is another book I looked up in the price guide. This is interesting as well.
What's that?
So this one right now is selling for like $25. That's it, $25. Okay, I don't know when this book came out, but it was like in the 73. Back in early 90s, it was selling for $17.
Was it really?
Yeah, so it's only gone up $8 in 20 to 30 years. That doesn't make any sense. And this is before the movie.
Right.
This was $17 before the Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, was in the movie or whatnot and stuff. And it's a really cool character. I've always liked the Shadow. I mean, there was like the, they have never really said it was the same guy, but remember the Spirit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing.
Kind of the same thing.
Yeah, we're always reminded. When I saw that Spirit movie that they did, I was like, this is a ripoff of the Shadow.
That's exactly right.
And but I like it's definitely undervalued. And there's a handful of DC titles from this era that are all going to fall in that same boat right now. And actually, there's a lot of DC titles that are undervalued right now. DC's almost kind of the unforgotten stepchild right now, or forgotten stepchild in a lot of their books. People just aren't looking for them. So it's actually a really good time to buy DC stuff. Because if you base stuff on the movies or whatnot, and if the movies aren't very good, the only where they have to go is up. If the movies are like, these are really bad, they're probably not going to get worse. They're probably hopefully get better. And if you base your specking on movies, which I don't recommend doing, they only have time to go up or a chance to go up and get better. So
absolutely, the Shadow is one of those it's I have fond memories of because it's one of the books I was adopted, and my dad was he fought in World War II, and so he came from the radio era. And and the Shadow was a huge radio show.
Oh, yeah.
And of course he did read comics back in the day, but when I started collecting comics and I had the Shadow in my collection, we connected over that.
Yeah.
And so that holds even more value for me.
Yeah.
And but really, truly an underappreciated book.
Yeah.
This one should be getting more love.
Yeah, extremely well beloved character. That's been around since the 30s.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about people like that, like Flash Gordon, Shadow, there's only a handful of them I can think that were on the radio that translated to comic books and are still, somewhat relevant today. So, love that book. I'm glad it's in my collection.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Okay, I got the next one here. It says, this is from Joshua 373. He says, I have always felt like Marvel Comics Presents number 72, The Weapon X Origin of Wolverine, is underappreciated and undervalued. It feels way more important to Wolverine than many of the books that are more valuable. This book is actually starting to actually pick up a little bit. This is the old Marvel Comics Presents run that was really inexpensive or whatnot. It was like 2 stories in it. And I remember this. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too.
And I thought the artwork was pretty good. And like I said, you got like 2 stories. But this is where it introduced you to Weapon X in this book. And for the longest time, this book was actually in the dollar bins for years.
I couldn't believe it.
You would find multiple copies. Like not just one, but like 10. Of every single issue, just sitting there in the dollar bins up till about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it has picked up since then. Right now, the going value for that book that he mentioned is around $40 selling price. Is that undervalued? Probably a little bit. But I also think that there was a lot of those printed back then.
There were.
There was tons of those books being printed for that series or whatnot because they had Wolverine on there. And it was cheaper than the other regular Wolverine title.
Yeah,
so a lot of people bought it. But,
absolutely. Well, I mean, the thing that gets me is that when you look at, key books, they started to flesh out the whole Weapon X program in the movies. Yeah. And so I'm surprised that this particular issue didn't take off faster than it has. I mean, it is starting to pick up steam. But this has been one that I've always held dear because it started to fill out that backstory that we didn't have for the longest time.
Yeah.
And so. I'm glad it's here, but it's another one of those books because of how many it was printed, how many of them were printed.
Yeah.
That it didn't rise in value. Just like XMen number 8, I think it's number 8, the Omega Red for first appearance.
The 4.
It's a 4, yeah. That didn't go up for the longest time.
Yeah.
And now it's getting huge love.
Yep.
But this is one of those books.
Huge love?
Huge love. Bullseye Bob said it.
Huge love, baby. You ready for some huge love?
But this one should have gotten the huge love a long time ago.
That's a good. We can use that.
I know, huh?
This new segment is brought to you by Huge Love.
Huge love.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, this little Weapon X run in Marvel Comics Presents was like 10 or 12 issues. It wasn't very much, because they always switch to something else. And I think this issue in series is pretty much a good deal. I mean, you can pretty much still find them in the dollar bins, except for like 1 or 2 exceptions.
For sure.
But it's a great story, and the artwork is really good.
Yeah, great read. Absolutely.
All right, I got the next one here. This is from Jeremy Lacourte. He says, most undervalued books ever. Are you kidding me? Has to be Amazing Spider-Man number 110, the first appearance of the Gibbon. And Stan Lee's last ASM script. Gibbon gang, stand up. Okay, this is a Reggie thing. That one guy, ooh. Bodybuilder dude, give me a break.
Your local comic book and bodybuilder?
Yeah, he's something. I what are you doing, Reggie? Give me a break. Anyway, he is all happy about the Gibbon, and he started mentioning the Gibbon. And it got some attention, okay? But the truth of the matter is, there's a lot of Amazing Spider-Man titles that are undervalued, that are extremely undervalued.
Yeah.
And early titles, and I don't know why they are, and I have some examples I want to show you guys. This one right here, which is ASM number 42, which is the first appearance of Mary Jane. And this is the one where she has the famous line, "Face a tiger, you just hit the jackpot." Okay, this is a big book. This one only goes for $350. In comparison, like Rhino's first appearance, like the issue before this, is like selling for $2,000. Okay,
right.
Mary Jane's first appearance is only worth $350. There's some debate whether it's her first appearance, but it's her first. I mean,
do you think that that's the reason why it's undervalued, because of the debate?
I don't know. I really don't, because it's not like the other ones are more. They're not more money.
That's true.
This is the most expensive one.
This is the one people usually gravitate to.
Yeah, I mean the one that she's on the cover. First, it's not worth this much.
Right, and for the iconic line, "Face it, Tiger," you just hit the jackpot. I mean, Stanley quoted that how many times? I mean, it's an iconic book.
Yeah, and she's in there. You can identify her and all that stuff. It's not a cameo where you just see her legs and she's behind a bush.
Right,
or whatnot. You know who she is after this comic is done. She's introduced to Peter. He loses his you-know-what, and he's smitten from there on. So this is a very undervalued book. That being said, I have another one here. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 46. This is the first appearance of the Shocker. Another big villain for Spider-Man. This Shocker character has been in the Spider-Man movies.
That's right.
If I'm not mistaken, this one only sells for $250.
Yeah, that's another.
This is a book below 50. This is like below issue 50. Issue 46. I mean, this is these are older books. These should be worth more money. Another one. I don't have that one here, but this one right here, number 78, first appearance of the Prowler.
Oh my gosh!
I used to have it. Right now, it only sells for $130.
Unbelievable.
130. That guy, wasn't he in the animated movie?
He was in the animated movie, and he was also in the regular movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Another one I do have, issue 100, the anniversary issue. Love that cover, iconic cover.
Yeah.
This one only sells for about $180. These are all really undervalued books, especially the books that are under issue 50. To be honest, because they're just first 50 run or whatnot.
Right.
And there's a whole bunch of them that are like that. I mean, there's some that are just really like tremendously high dollar, Hobgoblin, stuff like that.
Of course.
But then there's some other characters that are just like they should be worth more. The first appearance of the Shocker should be worth more. The other one's like the first appearance of Ned Leeds, which is like issue 19 or something like that. That's not worth that much money, So I mean, there's a lot of room to grow, especially for Spider-Man.
Right.
For these main characters, for the Stan Lee, you did most of them or whatnot,
Right. With as many people on that run who are completionists, because I don't think I've met as many people who are completionists as they are for ASM.
Yeah.
They collect that comic. That those particular issues are still that undervalued still blows me away.
Yep. All right, I got the next one as well. This is from Dave P. He said, I can't ever why the Wolverine Havoc Meltdown comic is so undervalued after all these years. Crazy great art and story. It's so underappreciated. Do you remember that book?
I do remember that book.
Okay, so that was a 4-part series.
Yep.
I thought I had them. I must have got rid of them. I've actually had them many times. And you can still get this in the dollar bills.
Yeah. But there was a huge print run on those.
Yeah, they were huge, and they were square bound. I think that might have had something to do with it. Those were square bound books. They were massively produced everywhere. They were in bookstores and everything because they were square bound, and I think that might have something to do with it. But the artwork, if you want to, if you have never seen it, and I'm sorry I don't have an example, if you want to reference right now, Department of Truth, okay, somewhat similar artwork to that. Okay, that's how they did that. Very unique looking book. Just the combination of Havoc and Wolverine. I loved it. It was a fun series.
I forget who the artist is on that, but that artist has inspired so many artists in that run.
Yeah.
It's inspired so many artists, referenced so many times. He's exactly right.
Yeah.
I am so surprised that this book isn't valued more than what it is right now.
Yeah. You can probably get the whole run. It's a 4-issue run on eBay right now for less than $10. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if you paid $5 for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one of those books that I think, great story, great artwork, different for the time, and it just didn't get the love it deserved.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe it will make a difference talking about in this video.
I hope so.
It'll go up to $12.
All
right, Bob, you got the next one here.
Okay, so the next one comes from, is that right? Potential Hot Comics?
Yep, Potential Hot Comics.
Great name for the show.
I know, perfect.
Okay, so he just references a bunch of comics here, and so I'm just going to go over them. First one is Thor 168. Of course, that is the origin of Galactus and the first appearance of Thermal Man. Then you have his second choice is the all-new Wolverine #1, which is the debut of X-23. My good friend Two Gun Pedro, that's his jam, X-23. Yeah. And in classic Wolverine costume, which is pretty awesome.
Sure.
Then you got Uncanny X-Men #450 and 451. Which are X-23 appearances. And then Punisher War Journal. I love that series. Punisher War Journal #6 and 7. First Punisher Wolverine battle.
Yep.
I mean, that's iconic.
Yes.
Absolutely iconic. And then the last one, G.I. Joe 26 and 27, the origin of Snake Eyes.
Yeah. I think the G.I. Joe 26 and 27 will probably see a spike. They got a movie, I guess, that's just about Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
I thought I saw a preview. That's a real movie.
That's a real movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe if it does well, maybe it sparks some interest, but that is the origin story for Snake Eyes, one of my favorite characters. So.
Absolutely.
But I want to show these because they were mentioned. And, of course, the Punisher War Journal, #6.
I love that cover, man.
I loved it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I remember when it came out and it was on the shelves.
And #7. I bought multiples of this.
Yeah.
And they're $1.50. I bought like 10 of each. Loved them. I was like, oh man, these are gonna be worth some money.
Remember that?
Yeah. And like 2 of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Punisher and Wolverine. Punisher's my favorite. Wolverine's my second. That number's flip flopped over the years. Right now it's Punisher first, Wolverine second. But this is another one. I looked these up because I wanted to know what they were going for. Okay, you'll get a kick out of this.
All right.
So let's see, for #6, back then it was selling for $15. Okay.
I don't doubt it, man.
Right now it's still selling for $15.
Really?
Yeah, that hasn't changed. Back then, #7 was selling for $12. Right now it's selling for $5. It's gone down by $7.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And just to throw this in there as well, Punisher War Journal #1, okay? Back then was selling for $22. Now you can pick it up for around $7 to $8.
Right.
I don't know what happened.
Unreal. People started dumping their books.
They made a lot of them, I guess.
They did.
But these are classic, man. I mean, and just recently did #6 start going up as far as price. Like just like 6 months ago, that was still like a $5 book.
Yeah.
And stuff. And I know a lot of people that were probably the same as I was. They bought a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And stuff because it was so cool, Punisher Wolverine.
For
And that's
sure.
the first time. That's the first time they battle. You know, first time they meet. I
Very
mean.
first time, yeah.
And you would think that would have a bigger price tag to it. But luckily, it's still available for people to buy if you want to get the first battle. There you go.
There you go.
And it's Jim Lee.
I know. Come on.
It's awesome. It's a wonderful book. All right. You got the next one as well.
All right. Next one comes from Trifecta. He says, I really think the first appearance of Apocalypse is very undervalued. To me, he's one of the more iconic X-Men characters, and I really think he should be more worth more than $30. This was the last time I checked the price.
Yeah. So he was in 5 and 6. X Factor. X Factor 5 was the cameo. 6 was the first full appearance. Those books, respectively, right now are going for $20 for number 5 and $40 for number 6. This is a main X-Men villain.
Yeah, big time.
Big time villain. And like people didn't like the way he was portrayed in the movie, and I get that. He didn't do a good job. But take that out of the picture. He was in he was like the main villain in the animated series. It was Apocalypse. Okay, and then multiple story arcs through the X-Men universe. In the comics, it's Apocalypse. He's worth more than $20 or $40.
He should be worth more than $34, but absolutely. I mean, I love this character. I mean, the four horsemen that come from him. Archangel. As a result, the interplay with Mr. Sinister.
Yeah.
I mean, all of that plays out in the X-Men universe, and it all starts right there in X Factor. And I mean, this is one of those comics that I'm very surprised I don't have it back in my collection yet, but it's on my list to get for sure. But iconic, absolutely.
Let me throw something out.
What's that?
What do you think should be worth more money? First appearance of Apocalypse or first appearance of Null?
First appearance of Apocalypse.
What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, we just met Null.
Yeah.
We don't know how he's going to pan out.
Yeah.
I can't say he's one of the biggest villains of the Spawner SpiderMan universe, whatever.
Sure.
But I mean, we had an event. It was great. But yeah, Spawn. But Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. I mean, it just kind of popped in my mind. It's like, here's Apocalypse, $40. Here's Null, someone who just got introduced over the last couple of years. It has no history besides that.
Well, think about this. Back then, when Apocalypse was brought on the scene, he was so big, right? You didn't see, compared to the two universes, you didn't see Thanos and Darkseid.
Yeah.
You saw Apocalypse and Darkseid.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That's the way it was back then. Now it's Thanos because they've definitely been elevated, but Apocalypse was huge, man.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of interesting. All right, let's see here. I think I got the next one here. This is from Kelly McPhee. It says, Web of Spider-Man #1 is that comic that I feel very undervalued. This is the comic where Spider-Man sheds the alien costume in the Bell Tower, where we later find out is where it merges with Eddie Brock to become the Venom we all know. Yeah, so I got that one. Let me show that one as well. I love this one. I love this cover.
Yeah.
It's an iconic cover. Web of Spider-Man #1. Right now, this book sells for anywhere between $15 to $25. Okay, how much do you think it sold for back in the early '90s?
I have no idea.
$35.
What?
That was selling for $35 in the early '90s.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's the guy.
Right.
But right now, you can get it between $15 and $25. And I remember the last Frankenstein we went to. This was over a year ago. Some guy had a whole short box of them for $10 a piece.
That's crazy.
And they were all like brand new, never touched or whatnot.
Right.
But that's another book that I think is undervalued as well. And I think there's a lot of, I said earlier, I think there's a lot of Spider-Man titles for some reason that are very undervalued. And there's some undervalued books in the Web of Spider-Man run, not just #1. There's some other ones as well.
For sure.
Especially that iconic cover. It's a painted cover. Who does that cover? It's Charles Vess, I believe, and it's iconic. So
it's great stuff.
There you go. All right, I got the last one here. It's from Holly D. It said Spider-Woman doesn't get enough love these days, but at least She-Hulk is making a comeback. Okay, Spider-Woman was referenced a lot. There's a lot of people talking about Spider-Woman. I have a Spider-Woman #1. This is not her first appearance. She was in the Marvel Presents or something like that. I can't remember what issue it was that was her first appearance, but this is her first series. This book right here is going for around $60. Back in '94, it was only going for like $5.
Right.
So it's gone up, but it's still undervalued. But
sure.
It's not her first appearance. They also mentioned She-Hulk. She-Hulk is seeing some gains right now, quite a bit more so. She-Hulk sells for around $200 for #1. That is her first appearance. I think that's undervalued too, because not only is that her first appearance, She-Hulk, and she's become a major character, but that book was written by Stan Lee. That was, he came up with that character, he wrote that book and stuff, and really, when you think about it, how many #1s do you get from Stan Lee that are affordable?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really, besides Ravage $20.99, that's only like $1.
Right.
That's still overvalued.
Yeah, I mean, and she's right. But both the books have not received the love that they should have. I'm more partial to She-Hulk than I am Spider-Woman because there's been some great runs on She-Hulk.
Yes.
I've yet to see a run on Spider-Woman that's really grabbed me. I mean, there's some good reading there, but I haven't. I don't think she has been given the love even by Marvel that she should have been given.
Yeah.
And so I'm still waiting for that great Spider-Woman run that elevates her. But two comic book characters that should have much more appreciation than they do.
They should do a team up.
That would be awesome.
There you go.
There's your Marvel team up right there.
She-Hulk and Spider-Woman against Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk.
There you go. There's a book.
That'd be awesome, man. My money's on the ladies.
There we go.
My money's always on the ladies.
As it should be.
There you go.
All right.
All right. Anything you want to add to this topic? We kind of read all the comments there.
Yeah. No. I mean, another book that I consider very underappreciated is Daredevil #1 by Kevin Smith and Joe Quesada.
Sure.
And Jimmy Palmiotti. I mean, that is an amazing run, and that I think that book doesn't get as much love as it should.
Yeah.
And so there's a ton of them out there, but this is a great topic.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to next week as well.
Yeah, next week we'll be talking about books that are overvalued right now. They're selling for way more than they probably should be.
Probably should be.
And we're curious to hear your thoughts on that. I do have some books I'm going to show on the final 5 in my collection I think are undervalued. So we'll kind of jump on that. But for the most part, that is our topic. And I want to say thank you once again to blackboxcomics.net for sponsoring our topic. You can go to their website and enter code Bueller10. You save 10%. And thank you, and we'll see you next time. And we're back, and we're moving on to our next segment, which is our final 5, brought to you by Bird City Comics. Go to their website, birdcitycomics.com, enter the code Bueller. You save 10% on your purchase. Bob, guess what?
What?
You're up first.
Awesome stuff. We're going to take some books down here.
Sure.
There we go.
Thank you, sir.
Not a problem. And we got the new Moon Knight series coming out here pretty soon. And so I figured I'd bring just a few Moon Knight books that I pulled out of my short boxes early this morning. And here is some books from Vengeance of the Moon Knight. Here's #1. Then we got #2 with some Sentry action on there. And we got #3.
Nice.
I love the covers on these.
I'm a Moon Knight fan.
I'm a huge Moon Knight fan, yeah.
Me too.
And then #5. I give Moon Knight huge love.
Yeah, I heard they're coming out with a new book.
They are.
That's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool, isn't it?
Interesting.
Interesting. Moon Knight #6. Or Vengeance of... whatever. #6.
Sounds good.
There's my final 5.
Too obvious?
Too obvious.
Okay, good.
Too obvious.
All right. Like I said, my final 5 are books that I think are undervalued right now. This one is similar to The Web of Spider-Man #1. This is Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man #1. It was the first solo series after Amazing Spider-Man to kind of come out. Very affordable, different option to read storyline stuff. Yep. And every now and then they cross paths with the Amazing Spider-Man and Web of Spider-Man as well. This one right here, Wolverine #1. I don't know why this just it literally sat at like $50 for like 30 years.
30 years, yeah.
And it didn't move at all. And it's finally moving a little bit right now, but still really, in my mind, very much undervalued.
Very much. Very much.
Speaking of, I mentioned these books before. Another Wolverine. Here's a Wolverine 180. It's an appearance of Wolverine.
Hulk 180.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Hulk 180. That's right. It's the appearance of Wolverine, but whatever you want to call it, it's up to you. I don't care. Here is the 182 we talked about as well. Another appearance of Wolverine, and then this one. We're trying to make this one hit the top 10 list.
What's that?
This is Doom Patrol, #70. The first appearance of Codpiece. Codpiece. And you know what? It's Codpiece, man. And who doesn't need a good Codpiece in their life?
Oh my god.
First appearance. Does anyone know what his superpower is? Take a guess. It's COD related. COD related.
COD really, dude, come on, man.
But there you go. That book's awesome, man. I did a whole bit on the Codpiece one time.
Yes, you did.
So anyway, that's the first appearance. He's got like this thing coming. Never mind. Go pick it up, man. Let's put this on the top 10 list. It's definitely
man.
undervalued.
He loves running it up the flagpole to see who will salute.
Oh my gosh. It's got little attachments. Who does that?
Obviously you do.
I didn't come up with it. Anyway,
There we go.
you comfortable enough?
I'm fine.
Great.
You can kill me, dude.
He is a bastard. Alright, so that's the final 5 brought to you by Bird City Comics, like I said before, and I'll say it again many times. Go to their website and code Bueller, you save 10%. Alright, that's all we got for you. Alright, and we're back, and we're going to go ahead and move along to Robbie's Pick of the Week.
Hey everybody, I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups from Pop Culture Philosophers. You're checking out the Coffee and Comics Show on Comics with Bueller, and my pick of the week is...
Nice House on the Lake, #1 by DC Comics. This is DC Black Label, right?
Yeah, I think so.
DC Black Label. And I'm not going to go too much into what I think about it because this is part of our Was It Good segment.
Sure.
But solid first pick of the week from Robbie. Did you get a chance to read it yourself?
I haven't read it. I haven't read any books this week. I've been meaning to, but I got caught up with the whole mystery box thing and taking care of some other stuff. Like I said, I got my COVID shot and everything. So, but anyway, I'm behind on my reading this week, which sucks. But honestly, and I'm not just saying this just to say it, but when I was since we didn't do a show last week, I didn't do a Robbie's pick. But this more than likely would have been my pick for Robbie, just because it's a James Tynion book as well, and out of everything that was coming out, this one would have popped. But I don't deserve credit. I don't win the $100 because it's not official, but I would have picked that. Okay. Yeah. Now that being said, we're gonna go back in time. Okay. Because obviously we didn't have a show last week, so we're gonna do the pick. New graphic will pop up right here. Take a look at that guy. He's got a chalupa on his head. He's got a little Bill and Ted. He's got a little flat fish thing. Looks awesome. Okay, so now that we're back, this was Robbie's pick from the week before.
Yeah, that was his pick of the week before.
Yes, Department of Truth #9. Okay, Bob, want to grab the envelope? We'll see if I got it right.
Sure thing. I'll do it like Karnak here.
There you go.
Open this puppy up.
Rip that thing right over.
And we have #5.
I didn't get it right.
Didn't get it right. Didn't get it right. Not that one.
You know what? I really tried.
You did. You did.
And I hated this book. I hated his pick. He knows this because we did a thing on his show.
Yeah.
But I could not stand this book. And you read it as well. And what do you think?
I was not a fan either.
He hated it as well.
I did. I didn't like the way some things were elevated inside of it. Some people are going to read it as truth, which it's all dribble. And I don't know, man. I thought this is like, I felt like anyway, I didn't like it.
I knew after I read it, I go, Bob's going to hate this. I go, Bob will hate this.
And not just from a faith standpoint, because that's part of it as well.
Yeah. But I could chill right away. But I thought that Robbie would go with haha. And actually, that's going to be one of the books I review on the Was It Good segment. But anyway, I got it wrong. I didn't win $100. There was a few people who in the Play at Home edition of Pick the Pick got it right. Mm-hmm. There was like 2 or 3 people who picked Department of Truth #9, so congratulations. You guys can play at home. If you look down below in the comment section, the one that's pinned, it says Pick the Pick #, you can go ahead and pick Robbie's pick. Whatever you think he's going to pick for next week, let me know. You got 1 day to do it because he lets that video go out on Tuesdays. So today, Monday, let us know what you think his pick's going to be, and next week we'll see who gets it right.
Yeah.
That being said, here you go, Bob. Take a look. This is my pick for next week, or this week.
All right.
Go ahead and look inside it, verify it, make sure it's the same thing when we open next week.
All right. Let's just see here. Ooh! Interesting.
Decent? Yeah.
Pretty decent.
Okay.
Pretty decent, I would say.
You'll have to wait until next week to find out if I got it right.
Have to wait.
It's
All
a
right.
slim week as far as new books coming out, so I'm curious to see if I get this one right. So
I'm just going to write my
There
name
you
over
go.
the seal here.
it just
My
sits
initial.
there. It doesn't want to sit there for 2 weeks.
Put it over here. That's right.
There you
Just
go.
to make sure it's tamper-proof.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. So there you go. That was Robbie's pick. He picked that one. I like the Nice House on the Lake. I've heard nothing but good things about that one. That's the one he did for this last week. But the Department of Truth, we did not see eye to eye on.
Not at all.
But we still like him.
Absolutely. And I understand why he picked it.
Sure.
Because there's some things inside of there that is right in his wheelhouse, and he loves that type of stuff. So I understand.
Yeah.
But I hated it.
And he's still got his exclusive book for sale, I think. If you guys haven't checked that out, go ahead and do so. You can purchase that. He's got all the information on his videos. Just go check it out. That's the Blood Skull. And
I love a good homage cover.
yeah.
And that is an amazing homage cover. It really is.
The Ghost Rider one.
For Ghost Rider, absolutely.
Very cool. Go check it out. Go support our buddy. Anyway, that was our Pick the Pick.
Pick the pick.
And we'll see you next time.
That's going to make me laugh every time.
And we're back with our newest segment. This is the Mystery Box Honest Review segment. This is going to be our very first review that we've done. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks now. We put the Bueller signal out for people to kind of do our secret shopping. And man, there was a huge response. A huge response. And if I haven't gotten back to you yet, I'm sorry. Because it was a huge response to people that wanted to help out on doing our mystery box / a subscription box review process, secret shopper, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
We'll have more information about it as time goes on. But this was the first box we received. And let's go ahead and talk about the review. So first off, let's tell you what the box is. This is a 50 comic Vertigo random lot mystery box. This is brought to you by Park Circle Comics on eBay. So this is an eBay purchase mystery box. I just want to say this person has over 100% feedback, positive feedback on eBay with thousands of purchases. So hats off to them. This box that we're doing right here cost $29.99, and it had free shipping. Side note: when this was purchased, it was purchased for $29.99. It has now gone up to $39.99. The only listing I can find now is for $39.99. It's the same product. And this was sent to us by our friend Zach. And he's just one of our secret shoppers out there that's kind of helping us out, getting us these mystery boxes and kind of going from there. This was a tricky grading process because, like I said, this is our first one we're doing. So we're going to actually kind of maybe update our review process a little bit and kind of tweak it as we go along to kind of fit the needs of how we can grade and stuff like that.
Sure.
Because honestly, with a package like this, which is like a bulk purchase of 50 books, it's going to be a lot different than a mystery box that has 5 books in it or something like that. It's packaged and everything looks all fancy and stuff. So this is a trial process, but I think we're doing a pretty good job. That being said, well, let me tell you the categories we look for when we grade this box. And there's 50 books in this box. Like I said, they're all Vertigo books. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a video right here showing all the books individually. That way I don't have to sit there and show you 50 books while I'm talking as well. So you can see what books are in there, and we'll kind of go from there. But the 5 categories we look for is packing and shipping. The next one is monetary value. The third one is condition of books, including bags and boards. The fourth one is non-monetary value, well-known characters, number 1, start of story arcs. The fifth one is did it deliver as advertised, and we give bonus points if it has extra stuff, like a sticker or a print or something like that.
You didn't throw extra books in.
Yeah, exactly. So you do get bonus points. Our grading scale is on a scale of 1 to 11, 11 being above and beyond. And we will actually put the grading scale system in the description of this video. You can go check it out and you can see how we grade these books. Just look at this. It's probably going to be kind of long, but we're going to put that in there so you guys can see exactly where we come up with these numbers. Like I said, this was the first one, so we are going to tweak as we go along to make it fit a little bit better, because different scenarios will pop up and we'll have to adjust to those scenarios. What we're doing combined scores of what Bob gives the box and what I give the box for a total score of like over 100, and we then grade it from a grading system depending on from D all the way up to an A+. So the first one that we did was packaging and shipping, and Bob, you gave it a grade of a 5.
Yep.
The reason behind that?
It's packed okay. I mean, they came fine. It is 50 books, but it didn't come in a box.
Sure.
And so it's just in a bag. It's a tightly wrapped bag.
Exactly. This is the bag itself that it was in.
Right.
It was just in this bag right here, sealed up inside a box from UPS.
Right.
And then it was like had some paper around it. That was it.
Exactly.
But
and so
this was it.
And so for me, this one is a little more personal preference.
Yep.
I like a little more protection around my books. I didn't feel this was protected like other mystery boxes have. And so based on the scale, I think it dinged a little lower than you did. I give it a 5.
Yeah, and I see that, and this is one area where we're probably going to tweak a little bit because it does need to be addressed. I gave it an 8 for shipping. For one, it was free shipping, and that goes a long way.
Sure.
So that's why there was a kind of a larger difference between me and Bob's score. It was free shipping. The going shipping price for that probably would have been around $12 if you're going to ship that priority box or whatnot. So to include that for free, I think that's a good deal. But as you said, there wasn't really any protection around the books in comparison to what you would find on other things. And really, that's just a matter of just taking an extra 5 or 10 minutes and packing it better. That doesn't cost you any more money to do that.
That's right.
It just literally is like, okay, here's an extra piece of cardboard. Let's wrap it in this and make it a little bit more, secure or whatnot. That's
sure.
all. That's literally would have took just a couple more minutes, and you would have got a better score. So, the next one we're going to look at monetary value. As you've seen the picture of these books, none of them really are worth that much money, to be totally honest. There was a handful. There was probably about 7 or 8 that were around anywhere from $2 to $4. The rest of them are really, it's 50 cents to $1. And I looked them all up as far as sold prices. A lot of them I couldn't find, but they were sold in lots of 20 for or 1 through 20 for like $10 or $20. So like 50 cents or $1. But there is 50 books in there, and 50 books for $29.99. That's full value.
That is full value, exactly.
You did get. I gave it a score of a 9.
Right.
Which 9 is full value, okay, and that's what I saw in the box.
Yep. As advertised, when I looked at the books, I think there was nine out of the 50 that I would have considered a little bit higher as far as money, like between the $3 to $5 range, and so based upon that, I gave the same exact score. I give it a 9 as well.
Yeah. To get a 10, you'd have to have 20% more value.
Right.
To get the elusive 11, you'd have to have double the value of the box.
Right.
Just to give you an example, like I said, you can look at that down below in the description. On the condition, Bob gave it a 7 for condition, and we do go by what they describe for what they're selling. Okay, like I said before, if they describe the books as all being near mint, and they're not, they're going to get dinged. But they describe them as like, hey, some of the books are just okay or fair, and they aren't fair. Then what they're describing is what it is.
Yeah.
But you gave it a 7.
Absolutely.
And you feel good about that?
I do feel good about that. I mean, I didn't go higher because of the fact that when it came to like bags and boards and things like that, some weren't bagged and boarded, and then the ones that were used bags and boards.
Yes.
Some of them were taped.
Yeah.
And things like that. So not a lot of care put into it.
Yeah.
So I can't really go higher than a 7, I would say.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to actual condition, it was exactly what they had advertised, which was basically fine or better.
Yeah.
And I would agree with that. But because of the overall condition of how they were shipped,
Yes.
7 is my score.
Yeah, I gave it a 7 as well, and I thought it was within 1 grade, as
Yeah.
far as what they were saying, what the books were. But they were, and they even stated that not all would be bagged and boarded. But even the ones that were bagged and boarded, they were really crappy. And they weren't even taped. I mean, they weren't even, like I said, this is just a time. This is not money. Didn't cost extra money to put more bags and boards. This is a time. They could have just taped them or sealed them up or whatnot or done something. They were just kind of floppy and just sitting in there. And even the bags and boards that were on them, they were older and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was just a matter of just taking an extra 5 or 10 minutes, taping the bag shut to make them look a little bit more presentable instead of having just random loose bags just kind of flopping around.
Right.
And that's kind of what we notice on as far as condition goes, which includes the bags and boards. The next one is non-monetary value. Now, we both kind of scored it low on that one.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about non-monetary value, we're talking about books like that are number ones where you can jump on, or well-known characters, or start a story, like something that you can get a hold of and you know where to go from there. This was all the Vertigo books, okay? So these are a niche kind of market, okay? But you gave it a 5.
I did.
Out of 10. Why is that?
Because, I mean, most of the books in there were not books that I knew very much.
Sure.
And a lot of them were random, so they're not really starting off points.
Yes.
And so it really was just a bunch of random stuff. And so not a lot there to go on.
Yeah, I would agree. I give it a 6, a little bit better. But there was a very lack of Vertigo titles that people are aware of. When you think of Vertigo, Swamp Thing comes to mind.
Absolutely.
Okay? There was two Swamp Things in the whole thing in 50. Preacher comes to mind. There was one Preacher book. Sandman, another huge one. I don't think there was any Sandman.
Yeah. You're not going to get any of your normal mainstream, what we consider mainstream Vertigo books.
Yeah.
And that's a shame.
Why the Last Man? I believe that's a Vertigo book.
It is.
There was none of those in there as well. So, I mean, those are some bigger ones that I would recognize. There was some in there that I did recognize, Jonah Hex, 100 Bullets, stuff like that. But for the most part, there are a lot of titles I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And they just had the Vertigo line on them. That was about it.
Exactly.
So that's why I kind of got a lower score. The next category is, did it deliver as far as what it advertised? And Bob actually gave it a pretty high score there. He gave it a 9.
I gave it a 9 because it was pretty much exactly what they said it would be.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and based upon the other points, like the lower scores, they did ship exactly what was advertised. So I can't, in good conscience, give it a lower score than what I did. I thought it was exactly what you were getting, and so that's how I graded it.
Yeah, I gave it an 8 on that, just one score lower. I thought that just the little minor things that they could have done, and then they said bags and boards, but they could have concealed them, something like that,
Sure.
I thought there could have been, it was Vertigo titles, but there wasn't hardly any well-known Vertigo titles,
Right.
and I thought that was a whack. So it did score a decent score, but it got an 8 for that.
Right.
So for a grand total, Bob gave it a score of 35 out of 50. I gave it a score of 38 out of 50 for a total of 73, which is a C.
It's a C.
So it's not bad. I mean,
Not bad.
it's not bad for this type of box. A C is, I think a legit score. I mean, there's room for improvement, but I don't think for this type of box you're ever going to hit that A mark.
No.
For the type of box it is, for what you're getting. This is a mass chunk of book box type thing. There's no like, oh, you're going to get like this or that or whatever. You're just going to get a stack of books
Right.
that just somebody grabbed out of a box and stuck in there.
Yeah, and so also just to make sure we're being honest,
Mhm.
because that's what this is about. The price increase now.
Yes.
I'm not sure that it would have gotten the same grade if we would have reviewed it at the new price point.
So that being said, Bob, would you buy this box? If you had money to spend on a mystery box, and if you saw this, would you buy it?
Only if I had somebody who was trying to complete runs inside of Vertigo, and he was a Vertigo freak.
Yeah.
I'd buy it. Other than that, I probably wouldn't touch it.
Okay. As far as I go, and you guys know I don't really buy mystery boxes, but I'm putting that aside.
Yeah.
If I was actually going to buy a mystery box, I had money dedicated to buy a mystery box, I would probably pass on this one. It would probably not ring a bell with me, especially, and we're basing this after all the information that we just provided. Seeing all the books, seeing everything that comes in, how it's packed, all that stuff. Would I pay $30 for that to add that to my collection? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, and when we say would we buy it, that's our personal opinion.
Yes.
That's the difference between the grading thing, what we just said, and when we say would we buy it. Okay, I'm giving my personal opinion on that. The grading system is what it is. It's yeah, sure. There might be a couple flaws here that we're going to tweak as we go along, but as far as you guys could probably grade it yourself, kind of probably come up with a similar number.
Yeah, I mean the grading system will be down in the description.
Yep.
Check it out for yourself and see what you think. I think it's really thorough.
There you go. So there you go. They got a C. So a C is not bad. Hell, I lived on C's all through high school.
There you go.
So not bad at all. I appreciate it. That was our first one. Thank you, Zach, for sending that in. We're going to send that back to him. We're going to throw in a Bueller box as well.
All right.
And so I really appreciate you guys helping out. Like I said, we were kind of bombarded by a bunch of people. We've got everything from the SpiderMan booth box coming, the Comic Towns box coming. We got the Heroes box, whatever that is.
Boxed Heroes.
Boxed Heroes box coming. I mean, we got the Scorpion Comics box coming. We got a bunch. The Scout Comics box. I mean, you name it, man. They're coming, and it's gonna be interesting. So, like I said, on the super chats, that's gonna help us with the shipping and shipping these back out, because we're paying for the shipping out. Whatever they send to us, we'll pay to ship it back to them, and we'll cover that, and then we'll throw in the Bueller box, the shipping back to them.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, I thought that was a pretty good review.
I think so too.
It was a little bit challenging, to be honest, because it was a little different type of box than what I was kind of considering.
Sure.
I think when we sit down and we look at, like, say, a SpiderMan booth box, it'll be a little bit different, as far as what we're expecting in the box, or maybe it's not, But anyway, I thought that went pretty good.
Absolutely.
Let us know in the comments down below what you thought about our mystery box review, and we'll be doing more every week, so it should be a lot of fun. So that was our mystery box review segment, brought to you by Scout Comics. You can go to their website, enter the code Bueller, you save 10%. They have some mystery boxes of their own. They have their monthly subscription box and a bunch of other ones as well. All right, let's go ahead and jump to our next segment, which is Was It Good? Brought to you by Comics on Coffee.
All right.
And you can go to their website and you can enter the code Bueller and you save 15%. Look at these lovely mugs
Really
that they
good.
have. We're going to take a little sip. That's good water. I like my water.
Oh, that's good.
You can put coffee in here as well. But we just got water here for now.
These are great mugs, though.
But I want to say thank you to them for being our newest sponsor to the Was It Good segment. And they got all sorts of different coffee. They actually sent over Lightspeed. I tried that out. It was pretty good. And what's one right here? The Outbreak, which is another one right there. Oh, here's the Lightspeed right there. Look at that. Good stuff right there. I love the bags, too. The bags
The bags
awesome.
are amazing.
Awesome. So I appreciate that. Go to their website, comicsoncoffee.com. Enter the code Bueller. You save 15% off your purchase. And that code's good forever.
There we go.
There we go. So was it good? So Bob, let me take this down. Let's see, where's your books at, buddy?
They are right here.
Great, let me have those. All right, Bob. So we'll start with you. The first one we have is Ballsack, number 1.
Basilisk.
Close enough. Bob, was it good?
It was good. I mean, I love Cullen Bunn's writing. This is definitely, it's supernatural book. The problem that I had with it is that it felt kind of almost incomplete. It kind of ends abruptly when it just started to take off. And so, I can't ding it, but it didn't have the flushing out of the characters that I would have liked to have seen more.
Yeah.
It just kind of the circumstance happening, you kind of start to understand what that circumstance is, and then it ends. And so it kind of felt like maybe it should have been a double issue.
Sure.
But other than that, it was a great read.
Yeah.
I love the artwork in it. The artwork inside of this is phenomenal. And but other than that, it was good.
There you go. And it was only $3.99, so they didn't double it up. So, all right, next one we have on here. This is Tankers, number 2, by the Bad Idea people.
Bad idea. And
Bob,
Oh,
you're jumping the gun, buddy.
Sorry, man.
Hey, Bob,
I'm excited about this one.
was it good?
It was good. This one here is actually my pick of the week this week.
Okay.
And I know that there's not a lot of people out there that can get these books, and that part I don't like about this business model. Everybody should be able to get these comics. The only reason why I keep getting these comics is because everyone that I've gotten so far has been amazing. They're great reads. This one is my favorite of what they're putting out right now, and I love the first issue. Love this one even more. It's just nonstop action, and the way they're building out what's happening between, going, to the past to try to, take care of, what they want in present time.
Sure.
And then once they jump back to present time, they messed everything up.
Yeah.
And now they're in a place where they got to go back and fix it. It sounds like Avengers in a certain way.
There you go.
But it's so much fun. The dinosaurs and these mechs that they have inside of there, I'm enjoying every page, every panel. And the artwork is great. The colors are amazing. And I love this book. It's my pick of the week.
Nice. All right, you gonna let me do this?
Yeah.
Okay, good. The Nice House on the Lake, number 1. Bob,
Yeah.
was it good?
This one was good as well.
Okay.
I love James Tynion's writing, and this one, I didn't know what to expect. I thought there was going to be something about them going to a house on the lake, kind of a slasher movie type thing, or have some supernatural thing go on. But that wasn't what it was about at all. There's basically a guy who's been meeting people over the years, and he has a conversation with them about what they think about the end of the world.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he invites them to this amazing lake house. They all gather there, and while they're there, somebody finds out in the news the rest of the world is gone.
Oh.
Right?
How'd they know?
Because they saw the news.
The news said the rest of the world was gone?
Yeah, basically they're watching it unfold, right?
Okay.
As countries are falling, the world's burning.
Sure.
And the guy that brought them there, I won't give the whole thing away, but he brought them there for a purpose, and he's kind of been setting this thing up the whole time.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't expect that. And
Yeah, I gotta read it.
there's character, the way he's fleshing out the characters inside, it's great. Tynion is just amazing.
Yeah.
Anything the guy touches is turned into gold right now.
There you go.
And this was a phenomenal. I loved it.
Yeah, sounds good, man. I'm kind of feel bad I didn't read it yet.
You'll enjoy it.
Awesome. All right, I guess I'm up next.
Yeah. And so your books come from the week before.
Yeah.
And so these are ones that you had actually said that you were going to read. So let's get into them. So the first book you have is Something is Killing the Children. number 16. We're finally back. Bueller,
Yes, Bob?
was it good?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It's the origin story of Erica Slaughter, how she kind of came to be. So it's very young. So it's starting out right after the first tragic, and obviously this is a couple weeks later, so I'm not going to spoil it. But her parents are murdered, and she gets adopted by pretty much the House of Slaughter, or one of the members of the House of Slaughter kind of brings her in. And that's kind of where they go. So she goes there, she kind of runs into some people. Some people are kind of jerks, and she recognizes it right away. And some people were kind of already on her side. So it's just the beginning of her origin story. That's probably going to be a 5-issue arc. But I thought it started off pretty good, and considering we've been waiting for about 2 months for this book to come out.
Yeah.
I was pretty happy. Not really any action.
No.
That's not what the book is about, obviously, because of what it is. But definitely getting to know Erica Slaughter better. I liked it because, in the first issue of the very first book, they didn't even mention her name. They never even used her name until like halfway through the second issue or something like that. So you get to know her a little bit better.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you get to know her motivation as to why she was helping the kids. And,
Yes.
and I love it. Absolutely loved it. All right. Great one. So the next one is Spawn number 318, our favorite $2.99 comic on the market.
There you go.
Bueller,
Yeah.
was it good?
Yep. It's the fight. The fight's over. The last 3 issues they've been fighting Omega Spawn and this other type of Spawn and stuff, and now they're all coming back to Spawn's headquarters, and that's where this kind of takes place. So Spawn is back in his headquarters with the other members of the team. There's been a lot of shenanigans going on. He's trying to figure out why the big ape dude's all chained up in the room and everything, and people start disappearing. In the middle of Spawn, he disappears. It's a bunch of mayhem. It's good. I like it. They're setting up for the Spawn universe. This is what they had to bring him back, and this is what they did. And very soon after this, we're going to be getting the Spawn universe books. And that's kind of where they're going to go from there. So I really enjoyed it.
Very cool. Awesome stuff. That's actually one that I have not been able to read yet. But your next one up here I have read, and this is number 5.
Okay.
Bueller,
Yep.
was it good?
Yeah, I loved it. It was my pick of the week when it came out. It's a story of an old lady who used to be a clown, okay? For some reason, she still wears her makeup today. She's like 90 years old. And nobody bothers to ask her why. She just does, okay? She's grumpy, kind of like Bob. And she's kind of stuck in her old ways, okay? So she's kind of a stick in the mud, It's like, I remember when this used to be a nickel, and now it's a quarter, or whatever it is, okay?
Right.
And then there's the group of kids, and this is standard thing. We challenge you to go do this, something stupid or whatnot. And so some kid he has to go to her house and steal something from her house. So we've heard that scenario 1,000 times, okay? So the kid goes in there to their house, the creepy old lady's house, and it turns out the creepy old lady's not that creepy at all. She's just lonely, okay? And then she gets a little bit of joy in visiting with this kid, and she shares with the kid, like when she was young or when she was growing up. And the kid's like, that's really interesting. I mean, he really genuinely found interest in what she had to say. And so by the end of the story, when the kid leaves and the old lady's there, they've built a little friendship. And there's something there. And it just kind of goes to show you that I remind my son when he was a little kid, he really liked older people, like my grandma or whatnot, He liked to spend time just to get to know them, to just hear their stories. And that meant the world to them. And I kind of saw that a little bit in this book. Yeah. And I enjoyed it. I thought that was really neat. Even though it started off as a dare, and the kid would start off afraid, by the end of it, he's like, this lady's a nice lady. And if it were to go any further, you would see this kid remember this as he grows up. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't just assume that this is what it is. Take the time to get to know someone, and then you might be surprised. So I thought it was really good. And then she lightened up as well.
She did, but true to Maxwell Prince's writing, he brings out the despair or the sadness or depressive parts of where, and I thought that was very. I was trying to figure out what was he trying to say in this book, and the very last panel when she's just inside of her kitchen and she's there just alone and it's just bare, right? There's no life there, and that's the part that he was trying to bring out is that people who are in that situation, no matter what they look like, whether they're a clown or not, whether you think they're a clown or not, they have life when we bring life to them. Yeah. And without us there, they're just alone.
I mean, you just made me depressed.
Sorry.
Jeez, man, the book's called Ha
That's Maxwell Prince. He's trying to say something to you, Bueller.
Never mind. Take it all back.
Sorry, dude.
Jeez. So, Bob, what are you reading next week?
Okay, so there's some great books coming out next week. I'm going to read Geiger #3.
Mm-hmm.
Reading the last of Maniac of New York. Issue #5 is coming out. And then I'm excited to read Strange Academy #11.
There you go. I'm going to read, there's a new Web of SpiderMan book, #1. Looking forward to that. I think it's coming out next week. Eve #2. I read #1. It was about the little girl and the bear, or the robot bear. I liked it. And Joker #4.
Sweet.
It's this week as well, and that's going to be interesting because it's the #3 left off, and like they're going to go to battle and whatnot. So I'm curious to see where that goes. But not a lot of books coming out this week, but some decent ones I'm looking forward to reading. There's probably some others on my list as well. But I'm hoping that that Maniac of New York that you're reading is pretty good, and Geiger as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Read both of those. But anyway, that is our segment for the Was It Good, brought to you by Comics on Coffee. Like I said before, you can go to their website, and the code Bueller, you save 15%. That's all we got for you. We'll see you next time. And we're back with Random Thoughts, brought to you by our Patreon members. And we're going to highlight a few Patreon members that have been with us for a while. And the first one being Robert Galvin, our good friend Robert Galvin. The next one being Mike Rogers, who was actually the very first Patreon member. Thank you, Mike. And then Trade Paper Dad, which I believe is the person who recommended us doing this, being brought to you by our Patreon members.
That's
so
awesome.
Those three gentlemen, thank you so much. And to all the Patreon members, this one's for you, buddy and buddy girls. Is there a buddy girls?
Buddy girls, whatever.
Budettes?
Budettes.
I don't know what it is.
Anyway, I just wanted to say really quick, huge shout out to Robert Galvin. He's got a great show that he does on Saturday nights. Go check out his channel, the Comic Book G-Spot, and huge love to both Robert and Mrs. G.
There you go. All right, so we're going to talk about Donny Cates doing Hulk.
Yeah.
Now, if anyone's not aware of this, and if you don't follow my Instagram, or actually I think we talked about on this way back in the beginning of the year.
Way back in the beginning.
When the word was Donny Cates is not going to be doing Venom anymore. And there was all this speculation. Some guy was like, I think I know what he's going to do. And some guy, a very handsome, attractive man, was like, he's going to do Hulk. You watch, he's going to do Hulk. Why is he going to do Hulk? Well, because it's a huge sandbox. He's never been in before. All these characters. He's going to do Hulk. No, you're wrong. I bet you it's Hulk. And you know who that guy was?
You!
That was me. That was me. And you can go to my Instagram back in January. Hashtag Hulk Cates. That was me.
Right.
And when I found out this week that, yes, sure enough, it turned out that he is doing Incredible Hulk or Hulk or whatnot, I'm like, yep, I knew it. I just texted him or sent him a tweet like last week or the week before. I said, hey man, you doing Hulk? Just like that. Just a random tweet to him. You doing Hulk? just to kind of put it out there again, you know.
Uh-huh.
And sure enough, so he is going to be doing Hulk. And so what's your initial thoughts on Donny Cates? Now, I don't know if he's stopping doing Thor. I think he's going to do both.
Right.
I could be wrong. But he's going to be doing Hulk, the two most powerful heroes in the Marvel Universe. I think they're going to go together.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I've always loved the battles between Hulk and Thor. When I first got into comics, Thor was my favorite character, and I loved any battle between him and Hulk. And they even played that out inside of the movies, the interplay between them. You know, I've never heard Donny Cates say that Hulk is a character he's wanted to do, so I wasn't as positive as you were on this, but I think it's amazing. I think it's going to be even better that he's got Ryan Otley with him.
Yeah.
And so I think that's, I mean, I wasn't keen on Otley's Spider-Man stuff, but I think Hulk is going to be a great character for him.
Yeah.
And but again, because of who these characters are, I think that's the part that I'm most intrigued over. How's he going to cross these over?
Yeah.
And I really hope that happens.
Yeah. I have said for a while I wanted a Smash Hulk. Literally my big green monster Hulk back.
Yeah.
Causing mayhem, smashing things up, you know, fighting, you know, good guys and bad guys. Just some classic Hulk. I hope that's what Donny Cates brings. Much as I've enjoyed Immortal Hulk, I kind of got a little of the wrinkly Hulk.
Right.
The old
Adolescent Hulk.
Yeah, it's just like, what is going on? You know, I mean, there's a word I want to use, but I'm not going to say it. So I'm not gonna. But anyway.
He wants to so bad
I
though.
do. I'm not gonna do it. But anyway. No, I'm gonna do it. But, so I'm excited to get Hulk for one, brand new. Excited for Donny Cates to write it, and just looking forward to it. I want something like that, an ongoing series. I think it's gonna have a lot of fun. Like I said, in that sandbox with these different characters. Abomination, I mean, you name it, he's going to throw it all out there.
For sure.
Some crossovers, maybe with some other stuff, Maybe you see some stuff with these characters he made in the Venom universe. You never know. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
We're going to see him in a couple of weeks, so we got a lot of questions to ask.
That's right. I'm going to say, hey, man, what were you thinking back in January? Did somebody influence you? Give me a little, finder's fee or whatnot?
There we go.
The next thing is, obviously, since he's leaving, somebody's taking up the reins for Venom. Because we're not going to let that title go without having a team on there. They have Al Ewing and Ron V, I believe.
Yeah.
Are they doing it together?
I don't know. I mean, I just heard about the Al Ewing part of it.
Yeah.
The first news that I got was that Ron V was going to be doing Venom, and I flipped.
Okay.
I mean, truthfully for me, more than Donny Cates being on Hulk,
Yeah.
Ron V on Venom, that really piqued my interest huge.
Are we sure about that? That he's doing? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I missed that. I just heard Al Ewing.
I heard Ron V.
Okay, so we're just combining the two. I don't know. They'll take it page by page. So one of us might be right, one of us might be wrong. We might be both wrong. I don't know.
Right.
But anyway, we have a new team on Venom.
For sure.
And so if it's Ron V, you're pretty excited.
Very excited.
If it's just Al Ewing, are you as excited?
Not as excited.
Okay.
I mean, I love Al Ewing's writing.
If it's Al Ewing and Ron V, are you excited?
The only, if it was both of them, yes, I'd be still excited. Al Ewing, I loved on Immortal Hulk. I didn't quite like what he did in Guardians of the Galaxy just recently. And so, he's hit or miss with me. But Ron V, everything that Ron V's put out in the last couple of years has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I would love to see him on a Marvel title.
Yeah.
And if you're going to give him a title, Venom is a great one for him.
So does that mean he's going to be doing Swamp Thing and Venom?
Yes.
Interesting. We might have one of those wrong. Anyway, moving on.
Let me look it up.
There's a new show coming out this week. Loki.
Oh, that's right.
For Disney Plus. And what are your expectations for Loki? I'm pretty excited. It looks like a fun show.
I'm very excited. And it says right here, Al Ewing, Ron V, and Brian Hitch unite for a new version of Venom.
Okay, there you go.
So we're both right.
Okay.
No,
when does that ever happen?
I know. I am very excited about about Loki. I think that out of what we've seen on the Disney Plus, when it comes to these Marvel shows so far, Loki is the bigger character out of the three shows that we've gotten. And I mean, Brian Hiddleston as that character, beloved, love him, and I can't wait to see the hijinks on this. I mean, him going through time and getting all these different versions of Loki. Just the trailer alone has had me cracking up. So I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I've been pretty happy with pretty much all of it except for the first few episodes of the WandaVision one. Really loved Falcon Winter Soldier. Looking forward to this. And like you said, it looks fun. It looks like a fun show. Yeah. That they're not really taking too seriously. But I think it will have like a bigger effect in the Marvel universe because I mean he's messing with timelines and they gotta introduce other characters and maybe this is how they do it.
I think this is where we get Kang, buddy.
Yeah, there you go. There was a new show. I didn't even realize it was a series. I thought it was going to be a movie. But Sweet Tooth came out.
That's right.
On Netflix. I didn't watch it.
I haven't watched it yet either.
Honestly, it doesn't... I'm not really into that type of fantasy stuff. That doesn't mean I won't watch it. One of these days I will sit down and just end up binge watching it or whatnot. But I thought it was a movie. I thought it was literally going to be like a 2-hour movie. No, it's like 8 episodes. Yeah. And but I'd be curious to hear if any of you have watched it. Let us know if it was any good. Are you going to watch it?
I am. My wife's intrigued about it. She saw the trailer for it, and she's intrigued. When I told her it was a comic book, then she was even more intrigued. Yeah. The first run, I still haven't finished it, and I'm intrigued to see it. Yeah. I've heard tonally it's not the same as the book. But sometimes when they do that, they can create something very new that's based upon that, and it turns out pretty good. So I'm hoping it's like that.
There you go. Any other random thoughts you can think of real quick?
Nothing except for the fact that I'm so excited about SummerCon coming up, man.
That's coming up next. That's on our.
Oh, okay.
That's on our wrap up. He always jumps. He loves jumping to that stuff. He loves jumping to that. So let's go ahead. Random Random Thoughts brought to you by our Patrons. Thank you so much to our Patreon members for making Random Thoughts brought to you with Bob and Bueller. The headliner, the headliner Bob has a sponsor, which is you guys.
Thank you, guys.
There you go. It's a perfect match. There you go. So let's wrap it up real quick and let's actually go ahead and hit the Washington State Summer Con yet again. Like we said, it's 18th through the 20th. Both of us will be there. We kind of have a booth or a recording place set up for us to do it. We're really looking forward to doing the panels, interviews, and just hanging out with whoever shows up.
Yeah, hanging out with you guys is going to be amazing.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be a blast. We missed it last year, and we were so excited to go last year, and we all know what happened. But this year, still excited. They don't have as many creators as they did last year, just because of what happened. But he really, my buddy Steve, he's the guy who puts it together. He really went the extra mile to try to put something together really fast.
Really fast, yeah.
And once he got the okay from the state to go for it, he was on the phone, and he's been on the phone ever since, lining these creators up and saying, hey, come on. A lot of them are still hesitant as far as going and doing stuff, especially since it's still in June or whatnot. A lot of them are more waiting until like September or whatnot. But, Chris Claremont, Donnie Cates, Jim Starlin, Dan Jurgens, Jerry Conway.
Yeah.
A lot of these gentlemen I've talked to in the past. I'm really looking forward to speaking with them again. I love Jerry Conway, who is the creator of The Punisher. I interviewed him, and since then, he's made these wonderful statements on Twitter about the comic book industry that I want to talk to him about.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to just sitting there and saying, hey, you made this wonderful tweet last year about what you think the comic book industry should do. Let's talk about that. And we quoted that on here on one of our episodes. It was awesome.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
now I get the opportunity to talk about it. So I know Bob's looking forward to it. We got a hotel room up there, different rooms.
Yeah, my wife and I are in this room.
I thought me and you were in one. She was in. Never mind.
No.
Okay. No. So him and his wife in one room. I'm in the other room. Hey, ladies, all by myself. You just throw something at me?
Yeah.
Anyway, well, it's all 3 days. It's going to be a blast. Really looking forward to it. A lot of good people, good times ahead. Anything else to say on that?
No, but your cat just thought I threw that at her. So she's
been walking around here the whole time. Let's see if there's anything else. Like I said, next week we're going to be covering books that are overvalued right now. They're selling for probably more than what they should be. I've mentioned this also in the past. The Bueller boxes are coming back this week. I'll put out an announcement later on this week when they're available. If you guys want one of my mystery boxes, they will be available this week. I'm actually going to do a separate video about them, showing some of the books that you can get. They're very cheap. You guys will love them. They sell out really fast. So look forward to doing that. Make some money for this summer con that we're going to. Like I said, we got new microphones, a whole bunch of new stuff, banners, business cards, all that stuff. I think that's about it. Like I said before earlier, I do have my first major exclusive from a major publisher. It's probably Marvel, maybe DC, probably not DC, most likely Marvel. And I'm looking forward to sharing that with you as we get very close to that. And I'm sure you guys figured it out by now.
Exactly.
Anyway, Bob, that's about it. Anything else?
Nothing else right now. I'm still trying to get videos out.
That's all right.
It's been very difficult with the way work has been, but
you had to go back to work.
Had to go back to work.
It actually has to go back to work now.
Yeah.
In the facility, hang out with people. He's like, I gotta hang out with people.
Yep.
I like sitting on the couch.
Well, after a full year of just being at my house,
he's like, I gotta say this. He's like, man, I gotta work from home now. I miss my chair. I need my chair. So he went and got his chair from his office, and now he had to take his chair back to the office. He's had it for a whole year. You all right?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, man.
You miss the chair, don't you?
I do. Well, I need it for my back anyway.
There you go. You're going to have to get a new one.
Anyway. But yeah, the transition has been a bit much. I still have some stuff planned. I'm working on some new equipment. I'll probably be doing coloring and painting going forward, superhero stuff, which I'm excited about. And I still have my 5 and 15 show that I'm trying to put together. It's just time. Time is the biggest issue. But I'm still putting out videos. Still appreciate you guys. Come check out Everything Comics. I put out great comic book content. I hope you like it as well.
Yeah, and he's always here for the coffee.
Absolutely.
And that reminds me, the weekend that we're at the con, we're filming a coffee episode at the con.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that episode, I think it'll be 126. That will be filmed at the Comic Con itself. So it should be
awesome.
We might have guests on that one.
Way. That'd be awesome.
Comics and Coffee with Donnie Cates and, Chris Claremont.
Come on,
they probably just argue with each other.
We'll have a round table.
Chris Claremont, I don't worry about cooking.
Right.
All right, everyone. I think we got everything covered. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope that you guys enjoyed the mystery box segment. Like I said, we're going to tweak it a little bit. This is our first time out, so there is room to grow and room to kind of reevaluate what we're doing. But like I said, down below in the description, we'll put all the details of what we're looking for when we grade these boxes, so you can see. And we're going to share it with you guys. There's no reason for us not to share it with you and share it with people who do mystery boxes.
Absolutely.
I think we've already made a difference, to be totally honest. Just putting the word out that we were going to start holding people accountable for mystery boxes, people are aware. I mean, I saw things in Instagram like Bueller is coming for mystery boxes. That's not really the case,
Right.
but it's on people's minds.
Right.
And the more accountability we can have out there for something like this, it's random. I think the better off where we all are in the long run.
Sure.
Even the people who make the mystery boxes.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got for you, Bob. Guess what?
What?
You want to take us out?
Sure thing. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know what to do. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, you got to go with that.
Thank you.